Audrey and I have been working our way through the Harry Potter movies. It's been a number of years for the both of us, and it just seemed like it was the right time to go back into that world, a world I've been a little bit out of in the past few years, and what a delight it has been. So just a few days ago, we wrapped up Prisoner of Azkaban. If you haven't seen that movie in a while, or if you've never seen it, you should definitely give it a rewatch because it has aged tremendously well, and we both enjoyed it so much. One of my favorite things about that movie is the introduction of a new location in Hogwarts, which is the clock tower. And as soon as we finished watching the movie, I felt so inspired to go and build the clock tower. And of course, one of the most important parts of that area is this fountain, which is in the courtyard in front of the clock tower. It seemed like a good thing to build to get a good idea of what scale I wanted to go for. Now that I've created this, I'm really happy with it, and I decided I'd share the instructions, if you will, with you in video form, the only way I know how. So whether you're just interested in picking up a few techniques or actually want to put this as part of your Harry Potter world, you are in the right place. So let's break this thing apart, and let's hope I can remember how to build it again. So these are the pieces we're going to need for the base of the fountain. For the tiles, there's a lot of flexibility here. You don't really need these specific tiles. These are the ones I'm going to be using. All you want to do is create a rough cracked stone look. I've also got a mix of light bluish gray and old light gray in here. It helps sell that weathered look. But really, these are quite flexible, and you'll see what I mean when we get to that point. We'll start with that 8x8 base. Because mine is 2 separate bricks, I'll need to connect them. You'll want that there. It just adds support for later on. We'll put these 4 1x1 round plates, just one in the corners, and then you'll put those modified 1x1 out on the corners. Eventually we will attach the eagle statues to that. Use the 1x6s on the sides here. Grab your corner bricks and your 1x4 snot bricks, and we'll build the ridge of the fountain around there. We'll set that aside just for a second. Grab the 6x6. This is where we're going to put the water. So grab all those water tiles as well. Technically, these could be any color, any tiles. I found this to be the most attractive. It's also very common right now. Comes in a lot of sets. They're all over Bricklink. And basically what we want to do is fill out all of this space and just leave a 2x2 area in the middle. So you can follow exactly what I'm doing or make up your own. Anything works. I liked this design just because you didn't get 2 1x2s right next to each other. It just felt a little more random, a little more organic. Worked out pretty well. Now we've got that hole in the middle. Place down both 2x2 plates, the 2x2 rounded plate, 2x2 jumper, disc, and that blue flame. And we've got ourselves a fountain. And that will just fall right into place right there. It's easy to get on because there's only 5 connections on the bottom. Now we want to detail up the sides. So we'll grab pretty much the remaining pieces, all the tiles and olive green bricks is what we'll need here. And there's an infinite number of possibilities how to do these sections. You can follow exactly what I'm doing, or you can make up your own. So what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna detail the sides, and then we're going to detail atop it too. All of the green is gonna be crawling up the sides, and then the top will be light gray tiles. Go ahead and pause if you want to copy any one of these. Again, the ones with the olive green will go on the bottom. And then the smoother ones will go on the top. All that's left to do here is add our last 8 pieces. Our modified 1x1s with the bar on the bottom, and then the other modified 1x1s on top. Next up, we'll be making the statues themselves. We'll need 4 statues, and the pieces here only make 1, so you'll need to quadruple all the pieces here. We'll start out with the 1x2 with the clip, place the 1x2 plate, light gray on the bottom. Then we'll use those modified 1x1 bricks with studs on each side. At least one of them needs to be in light gray, the other color doesn't matter, because that will all be covered up. Then we'll put a 2x3 plate on each side. And much like we did with the main base of the fountain, we can kind of detail these in any way we want. Now for the top part, the connections do get, how to say this, a little minimal. We're not constructing the most structurally sound thing here. That was never the intention. We wanted to construct the thing that looked the coolest. So we're using these modified 1x2s to kind of bridge that corner. You'll see how that lines up. It's quite perfect. Now there's this, not quarter tile, but it's this hill-like shaped tile. And that fits perfectly on top of the modified 1x2 plate, like that, just so this is able to actually fit into the corner we're gonna put it in. All of this just sits on top of that. You can see the clips here should line up. I'm guessing you already know where those are gonna go. The eagle is pretty simple. We'll use this vertical clip holder for its feet, the 1x1 with the hole in it. The new minifigure stand piece, I know this piece comes in light gray as well, so if you can get in light gray, that's even better than the clear one here. It'll look like more of a part of the statue. Travis brick in light bluish gray. The remaining 1x1 clips on the side, that's where the wings will go. We'll use the ingot piece for the bird's chest. You can use a 1x1 with or without a hole in it, doesn't matter, we're gonna cover it up. And then the pearl gray tooth piece for the beak. All we're missing, of course, is these wings. There's the bird, and that'll just go right on top of the jumper. So we'll get our fountain back in here, and these will just clip neatly on the sides. And as you can see, the rounded off corners allow it to fit in there quite nicely. Otherwise, that connection would not work at all. It's very tight. It's not going anywhere. Now we'll be building off these with the pillars. If you're familiar with the source material, you'll know that one of the pillars holding up the roof of the fountain is actually crumbled in half. So we're gonna make that one first, and these are the only pieces that you'll need for it. There is Technic showing up in here, very scary. So this is a long discontinued piece. It's actually the old version of the frictionless Technic axle to pin connection. It now is produced exclusively in tan. However, tan would look pretty goofy here, so I'm glad gray ones exist, or at least existed at some point. These are all Technic axle couplers here. These will make up the bulk of the pillar itself, modified 1x2 with the bar at the 90-degree angle. So we'll actually start with that piece. We'll attach the two 1x1s without the hole in it. Then we'll get the ones with the hole in it. And that's gonna actually go over the bar itself. We'll put the 1x2 plate on top of that. And then all of these modified 1x1 tiles with the bar out the top. That gives us a place to connect the axle couplers. And then we'll put in the 2 long axles. If you have black ones, that works just as fine. They're all going to be covered up anyway. Again, make that one taller. And then in 2 of those, we're going to put those pinned axle connections. And then I have this, is it a 1x1 Technic lift arm? That's what I'm gonna call it. I think that's funny. Anyway, that's gonna go over there, just bulk it out a little bit. Basically, we want all of these to look different, like it was cracked in half. That's the look we're going for. So that's that one. So these are the parts you'll need for one of the remaining 3 pillars. Basically, take what you have here and multiply it by 3 so that you can make the other 2 pillars as well. Their construction is identical. The construction for this one starts out exactly the same as the last one, as you might expect. The modified 1x2 with the bar, 2 1x1s, another 2 1x1s, this time with the hole in it, over that bar connection, the modified 1x1 tiles, and then we'll go ahead and make the pillars. So it's 4 couplers, 3 axles. All right, and those will sit right on top of those. It's a flimsy connection, definitely, but we're gonna try to strengthen it up top, as best we can at least, with the remaining pieces. Next, you're gonna wanna take one of those pneumatic pieces and put it in the middle. And the one that's in the middle is the one that's on top of this modified 1x2 with the bar. We'll take the other pneumatic pieces, put them on either side. What we need to do is flip direction here so we can continue with the top half of the build. So we'll stack these 1x1s on top of each other, and they'll go on top of these. We'll put the jumper on the back 2. These 1x2 should line up, and then that other one receives the modified tile. So the top should end up looking like that. Once you've built all those, you're gonna use that center bit, line that up with the holes in the bottom, and connect all these pillars. Interesting. So you'll want the tile facing outward like that. So there's the fountain so far. We're getting places. We are now at the point in the build that is really going to test my memory. So quite a bit of pieces you're gonna need here. Again, there's a variety of light bluish gray and light gray in here just to give the build more visual interest. Because we have only 3 pillars that make it all the way up, we'll start with 3 of these, grab our arches. We'll put the arches in the corner of 2 of these. That, and then one of them only gets 1 arch, and the other is going to be a 1x1 brick for the time being. We'll grab some of those 1x1s, and we're gonna put them on the remaining exposed studs of that 2x2 plate on each one. Next, on top of each of those, we'll go the 1x1 round brick. We'll take 2 of the 1x1s with the adjacent studs on the sides and put them on these two with the 2 arch pieces. That's very important. This will have a little different build. For here, we'll take the other 1x1 regular brick, set that there, and then that third 1x2 with studs on both sides actually is going to go on top of that right there. And so to create that other crumbled arch, we'll take that modified slope piece, put a 1x1 plate on the inside, and attach it there. Another 1x1, which is the 1 stud, will go in this corner instead. We'll take the remaining 3 1x1 rounded bricks and put them on the outside of each of these. Then the 5 remaining 1x1s with the stud on the side, and they'll go in the corner of each of the arches. On each of these studs, we'll place a 1x1 tile at that 45-degree angle there. Creates an interesting little shape, breaks up what otherwise would have been a very flat surface. So we'll do that for each of these sections. The last 3 regular 1x1 round plates will go in these corners, and then we'll top them with a 1x1 plate. Alright, so for these inner snot bricks, we're going to use 5 of the vertical clip pieces and 5 of the teeth. So the configuration we want is with the stud facing up. We want that tooth facing toward the stud, like that, right? And we're gonna do that on each of those remaining studs. Next, we'll take our 5 corner plates, and because I ran out of corner plates, I'm gonna take a 1x1 and a 1x2, but basically we're gonna stack 2 on top of each other, and those will go in the corners here. Now we're gonna make pretty much a pile of plates. 1x3, the 1x1, these will connect our sections finally. To add some extra security, plop down a 2x3 and another 2x3. There we go. The other 1x3, the 1x1 on the bottom, that goes there. Fill in that gap with a 1x2, 2x3. Then to extend that arch just a little bit before it collapses off, we'll put a 1x3 there and a 1x1 in that gap. And then we'll just put a 1x2 plate in this gap. Two by two there, 1x8 all the way across, 1x6 to bridge that gap, 1x8, 1x8, 1x4, and we'll fill in these holes with, you guessed it, more 1x1s. Now, before we finish off the top, let's go underneath and finish this arch design that we started. So we're gonna take the 2 jumpers for that. Inside of those, on the offset, a 1x2 plate. Then the 1x1s with the holes in it that we've been saving go on the inside. And we need those basically so that our teeth can fit in there. And they're gonna be facing outward, like that. We're gonna make 2 of these all together. And these are actually just gonna fit right up in here. And you can see those teeth almost touch and complete that shape, which is pretty cool. Now we can finish off the top, 1x1 tile, and then we're gonna alternate 1x1s. I guess I can get the rest of the bricks in here. So between 1x1 tile and plate, all the way around. I'm actually one short, so I think I'm gonna take one of these. Hey, I almost remembered everything. Oh, that's not where it goes. That's gonna go there. I'm gonna put the 1x2 here instead. That's gonna go on top of that. 1x2 tile, 1x6, 1x4, corner tile, and that special 1x1. Whew, we did it. As you probably guessed, this is gonna go right on top. You wanna line up the middle stud with each of these jumpers. Of course, this side should go over your broken pillar. And that's actually pretty secure. I'm satisfied with that. All we gotta do is put the roof on this thing and we'll be done. All right, we're on the home stretch here. These are the last pieces you'll need to finish the fountain. So we'll start with the base of this thing, which is primarily gonna be those larger plates. There's really no crazy construction going on this time. It's just gonna be a lot of bricks on top of bricks. We'll take that modified 1x1 right away, put that there. 1x2 tile, 1x1 tile in the corner. We'll also put clip there right away. Clip on the other side of that corner as well. Another 1x2 tile, 1x4, clip, 1x1. Also do note the direction of the clips. Very important. Clip again, 1x3, 1x2, 1x1, clip, 1x1, clip, 1x2. It might be beneficial to connect this thing up with the corner bricks. Those will go in each of the corners, just like that. We want lots of detail on these walls as much as possible. That's why I brought out the masonry bricks. We'll put one right there. Then we'll kind of make a masonry brick ourselves of sorts using 1x2 plate, 1x1 round plate, 1x1 plate, 1x2 plate. That will go right in there. And then on top of those, we'll place our first two slopes. Then take another masonry brick, 1x2 plate on the bottom, and then 2 on top. Another pair of slopes. And we'll just top that off with a jumper for now. Next side, put down 1x4, 1x1 round in the corner, 1x3, 1x1, 1x2 plate, 1x1 plate. Same thing again. Build up slopes. And then for this one, simply masonry brick with the 1x2 on top. You can tell that's a very old gray one as it's quite discolored. That'll fit in between and 2 more slopes on top. And for this last side, that last masonry brick will fit in there. We're gonna use the 1x1 with the stud on the side, put that on top. Another slope, 1x1. Another slope, just like that. And then for the really collapsed side, put 2 1x1 stacked on top of each other, 1x1 round, and then that slope. And just to give this a bit more definition, I'm going to put this 1x3 tile right there. For each of the corners, plant down a 1x1 brick, and then on top of that, a 1x1 tile. I almost forgot, we need a jumper up there as well. Grab the remaining 2 jumpers, cones on top of those, and then those roof-like 1x1s. And you want the angle on this side, the long side of the jumper. And those are going to go on top of the other jumpers. They're gonna awkwardly hang off for the time being. grab one of those 1x2 with the bar on the end, 1x4, and then a 1x1 plate on the underside. That is going to go on this short end right here. And just angle it to kind of line up with that slope. Then we'll take all the remaining pieces, which is our collection of those 1x2 with the bar, 1x4 plate, and 1x6s. And you're gonna simply attach that 1x2 to the bottom, 1x4 to the top, and make a bunch of these to connect to the remaining clips. These should sneak right underneath there and touch, filling in that gap. And for this last one, much like the first angled bit, we'll just try to have it match the others as best we can, and that is the roof. Obviously, we have this pattern of 1x1s and 1x1 tiles. Basically, we want to offset that so that it hangs over by half a plate. So we'll be lining these up with, again, the stud in the middle. And that gives us the completed fountain. I am quite satisfied with how this turned out. And if you choose to build it, I hope you are satisfied with it as well. I'm excited to build onto this by hopefully one day creating the entirety of that clock tower area. And if there's enough interest, maybe I will document that process a bit as well. Of course, this is just one of the most iconic locations shown in the Harry Potter movies, and I've always wanted to recreate it. And it's exciting to be able to share this design, and I hope somebody is able to build it, even if it's just a display by itself, or if you want to make it part of a larger world. I'm not convinced it will scale very well to the existing clock tower sets, but by all means, go for it anyway. I've left a comprehensive parts list that can be uploaded to Bricklink if you are interested in buying all these parts. Otherwise, most of them are fairly common. I know the only parts that I had to buy for this personally were a few extra wings, as they are not exactly all that common, but if you have a lot of Chima sets, that seems to be where they came from for the most part. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon with some more Harry Potter stuff, one way or the other.